I must be dreaming cause I don't believe in ghosts, yeah.
Before we get into today's video, I'd like to thank Aoeah.com for sponsoring this channel. Aoeah is a third-party website that buys and sells all Rocket League items, including credits and blueprints. Use coupon code JSPADE to save 3% at checkout. And welcome back, guys. It is Jack of all Spade. I am back again with not more Rocket League, but actually a very different type of video today. Some of you might know that over the past few months we've been dipping our toes in the stock market, and that has definitely been a exciting and engaging endeavor. I know in general I definitely like to trade volatility, have always been that way. Back in 2017, when cryptocurrency was at the height of its volatility, I was definitely very much involved in that, and once that started to crash out in early 2018, we stopped and ended up finding Rocket League trading, which, as you guys know, was a huge interest of mine for quite a while, and definitely still is. We're definitely still going to be making Rocket League videos, don't worry. I just know that I have been quite interested in the actual stock market recently because of its volatility. Obviously, with all the uncertainty in the world right now and the state of the economy, things have been swinging a whole lot harder than they used to, and that just looks good to me, so I've gotten in on it. But anyways, I want to be very clear that I am still very new to this. 3 months in any field is not going to make you an expert by any means, or even, you know, a reputable source at that. So if you guys are looking for good stock education channels, I definitely have some great suggestions for you that we're going to talk about a little later in the video. So yeah, just don't take anything in here as a recommendation of what to do with your own money. We're just going to be talking about what I did with mine and what kind of factors, you know, brought it onto my radar, some of the news catalysts that contributed to its success, and where we ended up. So getting into it now, the stock is MU, Micron Technology. They are a chip maker. They make semiconductors and chips for phones, computers, all sorts of technology. I know that 5G is going to be a huge thing in their future. They're going to be making a lot of chips for 5G equipment. But anyways, Micron was brought onto my radar on May 27th when it had this big spike here. As you guys can see, you know, this spike on the 27th was actually bigger than any of the ones that we had these past few days, and you know, I'm honestly fine with that. I was very happy that, you know, we just had some steady gain these past few days, and it wasn't, you know, crazy like this. But anyways, this was because the CEO of Micron was at a conference and came out with a lot of good information about upcoming projections and guidance for this year. I know guidance was published at the same time, raised their third quarter revenue guidance to a range of 5.2 to 5.4 billion, earnings per share 61 to 66 cents versus a 56-cent estimate, gross margin 32 to 33%. So just in general, some good numbers coming out about them. I know that they were lagging behind some of the other chip makers that, you know, are in their sector. So, you know, there were a few factors that contributed to me wanting to invest in them. You can see that it's got a pretty good history of going from overbought to oversold, and it's just got a steady trend up here. So anyways, I ended up buying most of my calls on Thursday. For those of you who don't know, calls are a bullish stock option. It's basically just a contract that allows you or somebody else to purchase 100 shares of a certain ticker at a certain price. My entry could have been a whole lot better. I want to be very clear about that. I definitely messed up on my entry, so this is showing you guys, you know, it's that I'm definitely still a beginner. I did not get this perfect, and I probably should have known. I mean, if we just draw a simple trend line, I probably should have known that it was going to be coming back down here, and that this was not an ideal entry. But I just know that I saw the big swing down, and obviously you want to be getting your calls on the way down, not on the way up. So that's where I ended up entering for most of my calls, which were purchased on WeBull. This is my main and preferred trading platform. So yeah. My strike prices were $47 and $48, expiring June 12th. You can see down here we purchased them from a range of 182 per contract to 204 per contract. As I said, this entry definitely could have been better. We definitely could have gotten these prices down, but that's just what we ended up doing. So the total investment on WeBull was $15.55. So, this definitely would have been the more ideal time to enter. And on E-Trade, our smaller account, we ended up getting a couple more calls on June 1st, on Monday. So that was definitely a better entry. Let's take a look here. Yeah, you can see the two calls that we got on E-Trade were $115 each, so that was a total of $230 about. And I as you can see, that was definitely a better entry. Was definitely happier with that. Again, they were a $48 strike price, expiring June 12th. So yeah, on Wednesday you can see that they started to gain a little bit, and I didn't sell anything on Wednesday because obviously I knew that it was going to continue up. Other chip makers were definitely doing pretty well over the past 3 days, so that definitely contributed to it. I know that there were some news catalysts that came out about Micron. I think they came out with some sort of robotics competition. I think that was on Thursday or Friday, so that contributed, but just in general, it was a pretty solid swing upwards here. So on Thursday, I started to sell some of my contracts, some of my WeBull contracts. I just wanted to lock in that initial investment. I wanted to, pull out my initial investment so I no longer had any skin in the game, and, the rest of my calls were basically just profit at that point. That's just a good strategy in general once you're at that point, to pull out your initial investment and continue to ride the wave on just your profit. So that's what I did. And on Friday, Micron ended up moving another 5% or so. I guess at the end of Friday, it was 4.88, but at the point that we sold our calls, it was definitely over 5, if not over 6. But we sold all of our WeBull contracts between, let's see, you can see we sold our WeBull contracts from between 570 to 710 on Friday. I definitely could have gotten a better exit as well. I mean, if I had sold all of my contracts at 710 instead of this range, that definitely would have brought me some more profit. But just in general, you can't really be worrying about the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. You can always do better on a play, but just in general, if you're up, if you're in the green, if you're making profit, that's where you want to be. You can't really spend a whole lot of time and emotions on worrying about what you could have done. No matter what you do, you can always get a better entry, you can always get a better exit. That's just how it is. Nobody ever gets both the entry and the exit perfect, unless you're an algorithm and or you're an insider trader, something like that. So anyways, this ended up giving us about an average of a 300% gain on most of our calls. I ended up selling our E-Trade contracts as well. Those ended up doing better in terms of percent because we got a better entry on those. We sold both of those for $575 each, so that was a total of $1150 coming out of that play. So, you know, our gain was closer to 500% on those calls as opposed to 300% on WeBull. So that totaled about $920 profit on E-Trade, and then our total profit on WeBull was $3,320. So between the two, we ended up gaining about $4,240, which is crazy. You know, I know that there's a possibility that it continues to go higher tomorrow, Monday, but I knew that I wanted to get out, and we're probably gonna have a pullback pretty soon. I think three green days is probably, you know, the extent of what it can do, and we're probably going to get a little pullback. So if we see a better entry, we're definitely going to get back in on that. But I was just happy with where we ended up. So I'm still bullish on Micron for sure. I'm just thinking, you know, if we wanted to get back in, there's probably going to be a better chance to do that. So yeah, that's what ended up happening here. You know, it was a total of about a week from when we purchased the calls to when we sold them. And if I had gotten my entry perfect, if I had gotten those calls on June 2nd, it would have been only 3 days, which is crazy. And that would have been a much better entry as well. But overall, I'm really happy with how it went, and you know, in general, it was definitely a great trade. But I do want you guys to remember that I'm still pretty new at this. If you're looking for good trading education channels, I would highly recommend Zip Trader and Jay Bravo. Both of them are really funny and intelligent guys, obviously know what they're doing. Zip Trader is a younger guy like me, his name's Charlie, and Jay Bravo is a bit older, but you know, still a really funny guy. I think he's a high school business teacher, but also does, you know, trading and building Amazon businesses and stuff like that. So he's definitely a great guy to pay attention to. His videos are definitely really entertaining. So I'll link both of their channels in the description. Again, I want to be very clear that, you know, none of this is a recommendation. Thank you guys for watching. I definitely appreciate your support as always. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing more videos like this. We're definitely still going to be doing the Rocket League stuff, but I knew that I just wanted to make a quick video on this play. So yeah, also if you guys are interested in, you know, starting to trade yourselves, I would definitely recommend WeBull. It's a great platform with zero commission, both on options and on actual stock trading, equities trading, I should say. So yeah, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description for that, and also some links to some other brokers that I use and appreciate. But yeah, definitely if you're interested in getting into this, there's some great YouTube channels for you guys to watch. And you know, this isn't something that you should really just jump into head first. Definitely try and educate yourself on the basics before getting in. As I said, you know, it's been about 3 months since I started, and it's only just now that I've gotten my first really big play. So it definitely takes some time, and it's not something that you can immediately expect returns from, even though that definitely does happen sometimes. But if that happens for you, just know that it's not always going to be like that, and you know, you need to be careful and take a measured approach in your risk to reward. So yeah, I appreciate your guys' support, and definitely keep an eye out for more videos, whether it be Rocket League or stock trading. I know that's an interesting combination, but I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys are having a good one, and I will catch y'all on the next one.
You say you wanna cry, but you never